Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got Lauren LaRosa hanging out with us this morning, our special guest co-host. And we got the icon, the legend on the line right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Usher.
Hey.
How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm feeling up right now. Feeling blessed. Feeling blessed.
Congratulations, yes. Super Bowl halftime show. I feel like the culture collectively was calling for this.
Yep.
I feel like we've been saying this for months.
Thank you, man. Affirmations do come true, right? Thank you guys for wanting it for me. Thanks for each and every person that prayed. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, just talked about it. Maybe it was just putting it in the air that, the Super Bowl would decide to come to Vegas because I was there. No, I'm just joking. No, but for real, man, I have heard, the conversations and the idea that, I would be able to play the Super Bowl. So now it's a reality. Crazy. Jay-Z calls me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm barely just waking up. Just the first news I get of the day. He's like, yo, this your Michael moment. This your magic moment. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So I look over at G and I'm like, yo, it's Jay. He's telling me I got it. No way. And in the background, you hear him, way. It was so gangster. You know what I'm saying? It was great.
How long have you known this was going to happen? Because you said, so Jay just called you or you knew this was in the air?
No, Jay called when I first got the news.
Okay.
I was in Atlanta. Yo, the craziest part, man, trying to hold this, you know what I'm saying, and not tell my kids who were also too on me like, Dad, you should play the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, who do I need to call? You know what I mean? They online asking or talking I'm like, hey, man, just maybe pray about it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you put it in the ether, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll come back. I'm knowing, but I can't tell them, so it was about a week and a half of just holding that secret. I felt like, like I was having a conversation in the war room and you can't tell the rest of the world what's going on. It's crazy.
Now, that was on your bucket list, you said.
It has always been on my bucket list, yeah.
Since Michael, I bet you since you saw Michael Jackson do it back in the day.
Absolutely. He's the one who, by the way, Michael has paved the way for all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's to be able to see what he did with this moment starts it. And then to understand what Prince did with this moment ignites it. To know that so many legendary artists have been in that position from, you know what I'm saying, U2, Coldplay, Beyonce, Bruno Mars, so many incredible artists have been able to service that moment, and I really do feel like I'm built for this. I feel like the music catalog that I've been able to build obviously speaks to it, but the entertainer that I am for that moment and the fact that I'm in my new home, you know what I'm saying? Like not in my Vegas residency, but also to Lovers and Friends Festival. And it's like, why not have a crescendo? I think it was perfectly timed. I'm a praying man. You know what I mean? And I put this up in the air. I prayed about it. And if it was intended to happen, then it would find its way to me. And it did. And I'm not going to disappoint. I'll tell you that much.
Did you go to Vegas, starting with Lovers and Friends, and then going into the residency, saying like, okay, if we do all this, now that it's here, the Super Bowl is going to be next? Like, was that like you put that out there knowing that this would come? Kind of like a proof of concept type of thing. Not that you needed it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, affirmations, like literally deciding that I was going to move in a certain way to take like some sense of ownership of a space. I feel like in the past being able to do that in Atlanta, like, yeah, I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I was raised in Atlanta, and Atlanta raised the artist that I am. Atlanta raised the man that I am. Atlanta raised the person and the creative that I am. And I was able to do that in Las Vegas. So I started with a residency, opening a show when we were just coming out of the pandemic, the first show to open in the world, not just United States of America, but we were coming out of a pandemic and people were afraid. Bringing that energy back in, that started it. And then staying in Las Vegas long enough for them to decide, okay, we're going to have the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. So I'm like, I'm staying here. I brought my festival, Lovers and Friends to Vegas. I was like, I'm staying here. I'm going to put my flag down here. This is my new space. This is my home. I feel like I get to do all of the things that I've always wanted to do and progress and just be creative. And since then, there's just been more and more things that have just really worked to my benefit. But again, I'm a praying man, and I appreciate the fact that God has allowed this to happen. I appreciate each and every person that I know said a prayer for me. I can tell you, my grandmother, before she passed, she said a prayer, and this is a very strong praying woman. So I know that my grandmother, she's in heaven, and she's gonna have the best seat in the house, being able to look down and see this happen. My nanny they're gonna be up there. My grandpapa's gonna be up there looking at this and enjoying it. They got the best seats in the house.
But now you got the difficult task now. See, now this is the difficult task. You got two things. Now you got to bring Atlanta to the Super Bowl. So do you bring roller skates? Do you bring strip club? Do you bring cars? And then you got so many records into 13 minutes.
Are you bringing the stripper from the Vegas, the one that comes down and like claps on? I don't know her name.
I haven't
but when
been to
I
the
came
show
to
yet.
the show, are you bringing her to the Super Bowl? I might walk to the Super Bowl if you bring sis.
Let me tell you something. You know what I do in Vegas. So listen, it ain't nothing but the lights, baby. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring the lights. We're going to bring the lights out. I can't give you too much. I'll tell you this. The ideas that are swarming, you know, you obviously know all the people that I work with in my life and my career, musically. You know the people that I respect and have collaborated with. I'm thinking of all of that. I'm thinking of making certain that the world understands the legacy that is my career. Not just the moment, but the legacy, the connection, the ideas, and the nuance, you know what I'm saying? If it is a little bit of what Atlanta is, if it's a lot of bit of what my life has been in terms of my experience, but I'm playing the hits, and I'm gonna definitely bring something that's gonna leave you, it's gonna leave you shocked. You're gonna remember this moment.
Tell us.
Remember this moment for the positivity. You're gonna remember this moment for the idea and the history. You're gonna remember this moment for all of the people that I feel like I stand on the shoulders of. You're gonna remember this moment for the fact that it inspired me to see them have their moment, and now I'm gonna have mine.
Tell us the meaning of the commercial, Usher, and why it was important for you to tap into your younger self like that.
Younger self? What you talking about, man? I'm still here. What?
Don't play with him.
You definitely
Give
not
me a
aging.
mirror, please.
You definitely not aging. But that was a younger version of Usher.
Nah, yeah. So by the way, you know, we went around and around about how we would approach this. Another really great benefit is the 20th anniversary and celebration of Confessions. Wow. So it will be a great opportunity to take a little bit of something that people would instantly identify with and play with it. And I felt like the social engagement, because it really was spun after something that I saw my fans engage using it for me. And I'm like, yo, this is something that I think is going to activate the world, and also to continue to engage them, because I want other people to do it as well. You know, I want other people to do their own versions of that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Why Dion and Kim?
I mean, I think that, you know, the dynamic of who I am and what I have offered is span wide. I think that, you know, Dion and what he represents as a story that has continued to dig himself from wherever he has been, whether it was health or whether it was life or whether it was the pivot of being an amazing athlete and then becoming a coach. I felt like there was a story there to be told, and I wanted to support that, and I wanted him to do it. I had to ask if he would do it, and he volunteered and said, yeah, I would love to be a part of that. I felt like it was for the culture in that way. Kim is a good friend, and I felt like it would definitely be fun. Marshawn Lynch was just, once again, another fun moment for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And Odell Beckham, you know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of just continuing to keep the right energy and all the right people. There were a ton of things that I've talked about, and a ton of things that are going to happen any given Sunday that leads up to the actual big Sunday performance. So it ain't done. You're going to see more. I actually, you know, pre-ordered and put on pre-order my album. So there's a lot of levels to what I'm doing with this entire moment between now and February 11th.
Right.
Now, there were the dating rumors with you and Kim Kardashian, because she had came to the show so many times and people were like, what the heck is going on? You weren't afraid to lean into that?
I'm on a Breakfast Club. Didn't I? I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, because when I saw it, I said, oh, this is smart. Like, I thought you were playing into that whole, like, people were like, how did this friendship even come about? Why does she keep going to the show?
Well, if you listen to it, basically, she told you, I've seen the show 2 times, and that's why she could give the news, because she actually knows. But it's a great show, man. Vegas has brought out a lot of people, not just Kim. Shit, we talking about Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying? We talking about Zendaya. We talking about, you know, Gabrielle Union, who was in the house last night here in Paris. You know what I'm saying? This thing is about good energy. This thing is about making certain that people celebrate that legacy every night. And I'm happy, that our friendship allowed her to be a part of it, and that we could do something fun and social.
Now, Usher, I don't know if you heard, but Charlamagne and I are actually going out to Vegas to see your show. Not together,
coming in October.
Not together, but we're going to see it. And
together.
We joked on air that says if you sing to our women, we're gonna grab your other hand. We all singing together.
You said you're gonna serenade all of us.
We all.
We come to 5 heartbeats to 3 heartbeats. That's what we doing. That's what we going for. Let's go on 3. 1, 2, 3. I got nothing but love for you.
but Envy brings up a good point, Mr. Steal Your Girl. You're not going to be able to steal anybody's girl from the Super Bowl stage.
You don't know that.
Because you won't be that close to the crowd. So how do you plan to terrorize people's relationships at the Super Bowl, Usher?
I think you gave me the phrase, the domestic terrorist. I think you did, Charlamagne.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, who coined the phrase? Oh, my God. You crazy, bro. Man, it's going to be a night. By the way, my Vegas residency is specifically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And my performance at the Super Bowl will specifically be what it is. But I will tell you, I'm not Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I'm saying? That's Trey Songz. I'm the guy who tells you don't leave your girl.
Don't leave your girl around me. You're
God.
right.
Oh,
So you should come with your girl. You know what I'm saying? You should be there.
There's no guilt. You don't feel bad at all when you see like the Keke Palmer situations unfold. Like there's no guilt whatsoever.
What would the guilt be? That I actually had a great show?
No, it's fun, but like it just costs so
much. Oh, you
much.
haven't seen my show yet? Okay,
oh,
baby.
No, actually I did.
I get you a first class seat. I got you.
I've been. I was there. I think it was the second show you did. Shout out to your team.
I said it was a different experience.
I said it was an amazing experience. I tell everybody that your show was amazing. I know it's all fun, but I'm just saying there's so much that stemmed from that once it happened with Keke. I'm like, dang, like, do she get like a hey you good call after? Like what happens?
No, I mean, not only did we get a good call, we shot a video too, and the idea was to actually bring good attention. Yeah, it was to bring good attention to it, good intention and attention. I think that we live in a sensational time. We live very 2D. You know what I'm saying? Life is 1D, 2D, 3D, and I think we live in a 2D space. So the idea of what this is, man, was just about fun and just enjoying, that moment and not missing it.
Usher, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. They did a whole Boondocks episode about you. Okay, don't leave your girl around me.
Just so you know, they did that way before I was in Vegas. Just so you clear.
I know that because you have a reputation. You've been doing this, Usher. Stop.
It's a good thing though. It's good. It's good. You know what it keeps relationships live. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do your part. You know what I'm saying? Do your parts, fellas.
And I think. Go ahead.
That's why we grabbing your hand when you start singing. When we get out there, I'm gonna hold your hand too.
Thank you for telling me. I now know exactly who I'm singing to. Lord.
Now they're gonna come with just them two. It's gonna be y'all 3 in a circle.
Now Diddy and JD are supposed to do this versus, right? You work with Diddy, you work with JD. How do you stand on that? And are we ever gonna get an Usher versus? It's not gonna happen.
You know why? I've said this a million times. There's only like 2. Maybe 3 people's catalogs you can't do nothing with, and Usher is one of them. Yeah. Usher got nuclear weapons.
Correct.
You brushed by it earlier when you was just like, oh, my musical catalog. Nah, bro. Your catalog is different. You got nuclear weapons. There's only one person I think could even stand there with you.
Mary J. Blige.
And that's it.
Mary J. Blige.
Truly feel
that's
way.
It, yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Charlamagne, I appreciate your vote of confidence, bro. I do. Yeah, I got warheads. Let me just say this. and Diddy, my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And I think that the whole process is about the celebration of legacy. Mm-hmm. You got 2 incredible men together who have contributed something incredible to my life as an artist. So I'm celebrating both of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a dog in the fight. I just know you got 2 dogs getting ready to fight. That's what I know.
Mm-hmm. You said something. We introduced you at the I Heart Living Black thing.
Yep.
And we introduced you, and you was like, "Yo, man, I kind of want y'all to do that over because y'all introduced me and said I worked with a lot of icons." And you was like, "But I am an icon." And I said to myself, "Yo, he's right."
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember having a conversation with Dream, and me and Dream were just talking about how we got to preserve certain people's legacies. Mm-hmm. How, as an icon, because you're a musical icon, undisputed. How do we preserve legacies like yourself while y'all are still active? I don't want to wait until you pass and then everybody's celebrating you. Like, how do we do that while you're still here?
This might come off biasly, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to try to do it without thinking of myself. I think that we have to celebrate. I think there's something about, R&B artists versus rock artists versus even hip hop artists that is easily disregarded. When you think about Chuck Berry, you think about, Little Richard, you think about Domino Fats, you think about, Paul Robeson. You don't even know these names. Some people may not even understand, but no, they paved way for every bit of what we're celebrating in these new means. Saying whether it's entertainment based because it was James Brown or Bobby Brown or Michael Jackson. These are the legacy artists that the architects of what we are celebrating. And you can't forget, you have to find very crafty ways to keep them in the conversation because we so easily disregard. It's just specifically R&B artists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed that, but country artists don't go like that. Remember Hank Aaron, or I got it all wrong. But
Hank
I'm just
Williams,
saying,
Hank Williams.
remember Hank Williams. We remember Patsy Cline. We remember these significant artists for what they contributed, but how easily you could just disregard Earth, Wind, and Fire or either an amazing R&B artist who really paved the way, by the way, for all genres of music, because before it was popping, R&B was really the leader. Rhythm and blues was absolutely the dictator for how all of those genres set up. That might be real sophisticated. So the short of it is, don't forget people who paved the ways and don't try to compare old to new, because the new is only inspired by what has been done before. Who did it was R&B artists who did it. So you preserve it, making certain that you don't create comparisons by getting the R&B artists that paved the way the nod. Make certain that people listen. Music is not linear. There's so many different levels. I woke up this morning celebrating D'Angelo, bruh. I woke up this morning celebrating Philly's, you know what I'm saying, Dionne Warwick, like listening to all different levels of music and making certain that our young girls, they understand, this is where it came from. Like doing this, if on Apple is flipped, it actually explains to you where the song came from. Watching the TikTok the other day, dude, the car girl, and she listened to what is the song, and he getting ready for, the original. That right there is the reality of where we live. And if we don't have that dialogue with the kids to help them understand, like, ain't no comparison. The people who paved the way is what it is. You're walking in the shadows and the steps of the people who paved the way. So don't get to that place where you can easily discard this art because they might not necessarily be as relevant. By the way, we don't sell records no more, Brett. You know what I'm saying? Like, check your stats. You know what I'm saying? Look at what who sold records like Michael Jackson?
Nobody.
Extreme shit, that's cool. But who sold records, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And been able to sell physical copies like that, especially in this genre. Right. It don't happen.
Who sold records like Confessions?
Hey,
that's
that's
a diamond album. Who sold records like Confessions?
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm not here to pop my collar. I'm just talking about, for real, legacy needs to be preserved. Everybody, by the way, in R&B is always trying to, really figure out who's the king. But I focused, my focus is really on a kingdom, you know what I'm saying? And making certain that we remember R&B artists the same way that hip hop is remembered. And hip hop is preserved not just because of the songs that were created, but also to the fashion. Look at what Amiri is doing. Just, you know what I'm saying, with hip hop. Mm-hmm. You see Mos Def and Talib Kweli, you're like, who that if you a kid? They giving you culture. They speaking through the clothes. Mm-hmm. Kanye and them, Sean Puffy Combs creating, that culture. Fat Form, which is, Russell Simmons. It became something more than just the music. It became a culture. Fuck being a king. I want a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to be able to lift that R&B movement up just as much. That's why you come to Vegas and that sophistication is out there. That skate is there. That entertainment is there because that's R&B. And you don't get that every day. That ain't going to be something that everybody gets. But it creates a conversation that I think is odd. You know what I'm saying? When I hear that comparison, it's funny, especially for people who have done things that nobody else has done. But it's also too misinforming because the new kids, they actually think, oh yeah, if I have this amount of streams or this amount of like looks and likes,
that's right.
That was a part of building that legacy don't matter. Them likes and that love it don't equate. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, I totally agree.
When
That's why I don't like, and it's no disrespect because these guys are great. You can't compare a Weeknd to a Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare Chris Brown to a Usher. They're great. Don't get me wrong. Those guys are great. They do what they do. But y'all just came up in a whole different era. People had to actually go to the record store
but also to
and buy albums.
The craftsmanship. Like when I came to your show in Vegas, and I've seen you before this, but I remember when I left the show, I was just thinking like, I don't know if I've ever been to a show of any artist in my time right now that I left feeling the way that I did. Like the detail that you take with like the performance, the song, the serenading the crowd, like even before that went viral. Like I was just like, I don't know if artists do, like my artists that I know are our R&B artists, take that time. Like it made you feel good. That's a different type of feeling, and that matters.
Well, thank God that me and L.A. Reid decided to start a label. Mega is gonna make some new ones. You know, you look at what he and Babyface did with LaFace Records, and obviously what, you know, he and I even did with artists like Justin Bieber. So it's like, all right, we coming together, and that artist development, it does matter to be able to understand and make certain that people remember that entertainment matters. It's always been the most important part of who I am.
Right.
But I think that, you know, there is a way to bridge the gap, because I ain't gonna discredit the artists who killing it, you know what I'm saying? Because they have a following,
Right.
but we just do things in a different time, and it's not fair to discredit those amazing artists, Philip Bailey, those amazing singers, you know, amazing jazz and all of these different levels of music. It might seem odd to slow down and listen to these songs, but it's really up to y'all as the curators to get them to pay attention to it. Yeah. Maybe you come up with a fact of the day. Maybe y'all start saying, yo, call us and tell me what this sample is. And then before you know it, people are being, informed. Create new connections to preserve our legacies, not mine, but the legacy of the things that have assisted us. You know what I mean? Babies were born to these songs. You know what I mean? Story moments that we've had to these records. You know how many amazing things that track our lives in these songs? How easily we can just throw them away and move to the next chapter? Nah, man, you gotta inform your audience. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with everything you're saying, Usher.
Don't sensationalize it. You know what I'm saying? We got to have a little bit of thirst trap there, but I'm just saying, for real. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with everything you're saying, and that's why, you know, we got to be intentional too about celebrating. I think a lot of times, especially as men, you like, oh man, you dick riding. It's easy to make jokes. It's easy to even critique something when you don't like it, but it's for whatever reason, it's hard to be like, nah, that's that dude right there.
Yeah,
like Usher's an icon.
Intimate conversations are intended for intimate spaces. When you have a broadcasting space, what you say becomes the law, right? There's many conversations of debate of who's the illest MC or the best rapper or the best dancer in the barbershop or even in the private confines of your house, but not everybody understands how to process that, and it just then instigates conversation and things that are not really about preserving real work and real artistry, man.
Now is this we're talking to Usher. He's over in Paris doing his residency in Paris. I was going to ask, so this is your first album where it's almost, you're not on a major label. It's almost like you're part of it. This is like almost your independent, where you're putting everything behind this one, right?
Yeah, Gamma, Larry Jackson's effort, you know, it far exceeds just me. There's many other artists that are going to come, but me in LA, we started a label under Gamma called Mega.
Wow.
And it's the beginning of, you know, the continuation of our legacy, the beginning of the continuation of our legacy, you know.
And it's called Coming Home, the next album. Why Coming Home? Why that name?
Coming Home, I mean, there's ultimately been several things that make me feel like I'm coming home. Not even a place, but just a feeling. Me reconnecting with LA. Me coming home into a space of comfort, whether it's Las Vegas or rather it's just the home that is Atlanta and the home that I'm building there. The coming home of becoming a better man to my woman, a better man to my family, a better man to, you know, the world and the story that I choose to tell. That don't make me perfect, and I'm not getting ready to, you know, just change the narrative. I'm gonna be honest about some of the things that I've gone through to create these songs, which I always have kept it honest in my music, whether you understood it or not. But coming home, even to the culture of where I come from, you know what I mean? I don't know if you saw me. If you go to my IG, you'll see me, doing festival things over in Ghana. When I spent time in Ghana and I went to the original spaces where slaves were brought in off the ships, something about that made me reignite coming home to our original home, the motherland. And all of those things started to sneak their way into my music, whether it was the algorithms of the song or the rhythm and beat of what was going on with, Amapiano and Afro beats. All of those things began to instigate my creativity. So I'm coming home in all of those ways.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Usher, we look forward to seeing you at Super Bowl.
The icon known as Usher.
That's right.
Okay, who should always be celebrated.
That's right.
All right, and it's a beautiful thing to see you at your Las Vegas residency, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to see you at the Super Bowl halftime show, reminding people why you are indeed Usher Raymond.
I can't wait to see the skates at the Super Bowl.
That's going to be dope. I just want to tell Charlamagne one thing. The Cowboys are not going to be in the Super Bowl, so I just want to clear that up right now. Just clear that right now.
Well, I don't know if they are or not, but Usher will be.
Usher will be, ladies and gentlemen. And
I know Usher will be here.
That's right. We appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that I was able to give y'all this news first. I want you to know I selected y'all because I fuck with y'all, okay? Just know that.
We appreciate that, King.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And love back to you. Love back to you.
All right, it's Usher. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.